finally settling into a more normal routine as a family of 5. So join me in the homestead today for some peaceful fall cooking. Today, my husband took my older daughter to gymnastics class, so I have the 2 younger ones, and I'm gonna do a good old-fashioned park day or walk outside, just maybe something super simple, just like a walk. But what I like to do in these situations is get something going for lunch before we leave, so that when we come back, I'm not spending too long cooking while the kids are hungry and restless. I have no idea what I'm gonna make today, so I'm gonna look in my fridge and see what I have available and come up with something at that point. Okay, so I found sausage and I found a sweet potato. And I'm just trying to be quick here because my kids are already getting restless. So I think I'm gonna make a creamy Italian sausage and potato soup. You can't really go wrong with pork sausage, it always tastes amazing in soup. And I've got a bunch of bone broth that I started last night. So I'm gonna throw together the bone broth, the sausage, veggies, sweet potato, and hopefully really quickly do all of that before lunch. Okay, so we basically just have the sausage, and we're gonna do onion and potato. Don't mind my wilted flowers here. It's definitely time to get new flowers. Maybe we can do that today when I take the kids outside. We do still have flowers in our garden, so we'll see. I'm gonna make this creamy by adding some Parmesan cheese, maybe some actual cream. Find that works well with the kids. And my husband and I love it too. I'm adding all of my scraps that I'm doing today for this meal into this bowl because this is gonna go into our new mill food grinder and be turned into chicken food or compost later. Idea in this situation. First time ever harvesting apples from this tree. They're so high. Well, there goes one. We've got a bunch of them. We also found these dogwood berries near our house, and it turns out that they are edible. We didn't do much with them, but it was fun harvesting what was around our home. When we got back inside, we were super hungry, so I finished the soup. I added some herbs to it, Parmesan cheese and cream, and it was delicious. I'm whipping together a loaf of sourdough bread now for the week. This is my new favorite way to make bread. I do 50% whole grain, freshly milled flour with sourdough, and the rest is a regular all-purpose flour. And then I add butter and I add honey to the mix. So it's more of a sandwich loaf recipe. However, I have made it into a boule before as well, and it works just as well. So we are really enjoying our bread this way. Taking a quick break to talk about one of my new favorite products in the kitchen, which is the Biodim stainless steel kettle. This is a 100% stainless steel kettle that quickly heats up water for all of your hot water uses. I love pulling this out for a quick cup of tea, and recently my grocery store had a sale on these really cute oatmeal cups, so I thought I would give it a try with these instant oatmeal, and it worked out perfectly. You may remember me talking about the Biodim stainless steel egg steamer, which we also have in our kitchen. What I love about Biodim is that their products are vintage looking, subtle, and beautiful to have around the kitchen. So many times our products products that we use all the time, like my Instant Pot, which I love, but it just doesn't look beautiful on the counter, and I appreciate that this kettle does. The Biodim products that we have are super convenient for me as a mom because they automatically shut off when they're done. Steamer turns off whenever our hard-boiled eggs are done, and then this kettle turns off whenever the water is hot, which is nice because I tend to put things on and then walk away, and otherwise the water will burn out or the eggs will overcook in the water. So that is one of my favorite features. I love the refined retro look with a modern LED indicator and the color match details for a cohesive vintage charm. There's also built-in cord storage for a tidy, clutter-free kitchen. The kettle boils up to 8 cups in one go, perfect for a large family or for entertaining. Going into the colder months, I'm going to love having the Biodim kettle available for all of our hot water needs. Be sure to check out my link in the description below and take a look at the Biodim kettle or egg steamer. I will leave a link for both in the description below. Okay, it has been a really busy past few weeks on the homestead. As some of you know, we welcomed a new baby, and shortly after, we discovered a bunch of rot in our porch steps and the railing. So my husband actually took the wood out of the railing, cut new wood for that, sanded down the steps, refinished it, repainted it, and I will show you an update for how that is looking in just a little bit. And I'm a little bit behind in the kitchen. I need to catch up on bread making. We left really early this morning as a family, and we had almost nothing for breakfast other than eggs. So I made eggs, but I realized that I need to make some more stuff. I like when the pantry is stocked, and we are definitely not stocked right now. So I'm gonna pull out my sourdough at home book here and figure out some things we can make and possibly freeze. I want to make pumpkin muffins, blueberry muffins, and some bread. I have my baby with me, so we'll see how long she lasts. I've been in the kitchen a lot recently and trying to get this meal prep done just to have some stuff in the freezer, and I have not been successful multiple times. So I'm hoping I get lucky today. If not, I'll try again tomorrow. But it's just been a busy time. Things just keep coming up. Another thing I need to make tonight is dinner. So I'm hoping on top of the muffin recipes and the bread that I can also maybe make a quick cornbread for dinner tonight, something along those lines. So let's see what we can get done in this short amount of time. Oh, besides some snacks maybe? Pumpkin biscuits. No? All right, cornbread. Let's start with cornbread. 57. Actually, I have to start with muffins because I already have that butter. Blueberry muffins. So if you didn't catch that, I am making sourdough blueberry muffins with cornmeal as well as a cornbread recipe for dinner tonight. These recipes use freshly milled whole grain flour, which goes really well with cornmeal. I find if you have a cornmeal muffin or bread recipe to add your whole grain flour, it's a nice complement. I love adding the whole grain whenever I can just to get that extra nutrition. It's also more filling, more protein, and I try to get my family to eat that at least once, if not more, per day. These are the leftover blueberries from summertime. The final product on the steps redo. The dark wood is pretty against the bright pumpkins. I love this time of year in terms of fall porch decorating. It is truly special and festive. Alright, I am back in the kitchen today doing a multi-prep sourdough day. And I love doing this because if you notice that with bread products, what I've learned, whether it's a muffin or a loaf of bread or something else like a bagel or pizza crust, the process is always the same. You get the starter out. Hopefully you remember to feed it in the morning so you have a lot of starter available. And then you add your wet ingredients like your water, your salt, honey, and usually I like to do butter these days as well. And then you add your flour, which requires milling if you have a grain mill. But my point is that all those steps can be easily repeated without much extra time to your prep. So if you make, 3 bread products at once, you save a lot of time this way because you're only getting the starter out one time, you're only getting the flour and the grain out one time, you're melting butter only one time. So today I'm making a loaf of bread and a loaf of cornbread. While I'm making this bread product, I wanted to talk about sourdough starter because I get a lot of questions on my blog posts or videos about how much sourdough starter do you keep on hand and or how much do you start a recipe with. So for example, when I have a sourdough bread recipe and I write in the recipe card 3/4 cup active sourdough starter, people get confused. They think that I have to have started with starter before I get that 3/4 cup, which I do because I keep starter on hand. So what I do is I keep a jar of sourdough starter, and it's about 2 to 3 cups at a time, but it doesn't really matter how much it is. The point is I feed it before I use it, and then I use it almost all up before feeding it again. And I just maintain a small amount of starter in that jar at all times. It lives in the refrigerator, so I never have to feel like I'm feeding it constantly. I think that's an issue people run into a lot, is they feel like they have to keep feeding their starter and they can't use it as fast as they're feeding it. You don't need to do it that way. You can just keep your starter in the fridge, keep a few cups of it, and pull it out when you're ready to use it. I find this way works a lot better, and there's no discard either, by the way. You're only just maintaining the starter culture in the jar and then feeding it just to keep enough available and then measuring out whatever you need for each recipe. This pumpkin chili combines ground beef, onion, garlic, carrots, and of course pumpkin. It's a really simple recipe to whip up. You'll add bone broth if you have it, salt, chili powder, seasonings, fresh herbs if you have it. You can customize it however you like, but I love that the pumpkin goes really well in the chili. You will notice that it's there, but you probably won't know what it is. So if someone asks you, what is in this? They probably won't know it's pumpkin, but when you tell them, then they'll be pretty excited that it's in there. This is also a great recipe to freeze. If you make a double batch, put it in the freezer and enjoy it later. Then you can pull it out on a cold day and reheat it really easily. Okay. Today is a special occasion. We are getting ready for my son's 2nd birthday party. We had a lot of friends coming over, both adults and a whole bunch of kids. And I love to make the kids a sourdough birthday cake with homemade jam filling and cream cheese frosting. It's a dessert that I feel like is super yummy. Everyone always loves it, but it's not going to be totally bad ingredients. It's all from scratch. I make it whole grain, homemade jam in the middle, all fruit, not a lot of sugar, and the kids just love it. So it's one of my favorite, it is actually the favorite recipe around here for birthdays. My mom is helping me frost the cake the day of the party, during the party. Nothing like waiting until the very last minute. She is a blogger and shares recipes over at Lemon Grove Lane on Instagram. Her and I have fun sharing our new recipes with each other each week in real life. Whatever we're making for our blogs or Instagram that week, we get to enjoy and give each other notes on. So that is a little secret about what my mom and I do each week. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this What We Eat in a Week video for some fall cooking inspiration. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you are making nowadays. And don't forget to stop by the description below to check out the By Deem stainless steel kettle for all your hot water needs this fall. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.